Hi again, this is Alltechtrail. Now I'm gonna show you the motherboard that I'm gonna use for the tomorrow's build. It's the ASROCK OC Formula Z77 chip. Okay. Now, first of all, what I'm gonna do is probably tell you the reason behind in purchasing this motherboard. Okay. One of my main requirements is that it has to have enough SATA ports on the motherboard for the number of hard drives that I'm gonna have, or that I need to have for this build. Okay, I'm not gonna have a full size motherboard with only even, what is it, sometimes 7 or 8 SATA ports. Okay, that's not the reason, one of the main reason or one of the main requirements for this build. I need to have at least 10, yes, 10 SATA ports. Now, most of you gonna say that I'm crazy. Okay, that's too many SATA ports. But look, I have a lot of files, and it's not that they're all what is it, illegal files. They're not, they're I mean, I do a lot of stuff with video editing and so on and so forth, or my own personal videos that I've converted to digital. And these hard drives, the minimum size that I have are 2 terabytes, sorry. It's a long note. Look, 2 terabytes, 10 SATA ports. That's the minimum. Now, one other motherboard that I was really considering in buying, that doesn't have the 10 SATA ports that I was looking at, but I was ready to compromise, because first, it looks really good. Second, it has, well, it's been proven in many reviews that it has a very good onboard sound card. Okay, and that is, as many of you know, with the Z77, there's only one other competitor that I can see that is worthwhile. I mean, in comparison to this motherboard, which is the ASUS Formula 5. Okay, that motherboard only has 8 SATA ports, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Okay, but it is still a compromise that I said that sort of like was in my mind for a good 1 week or 2 weeks. Now, the reviews on this motherboard, yes, this motherboard has a good sound card in comparison to other motherboards. That's given. Okay, and furthermore, I think one of my main reservations with purchasing any other motherboards outside or other than Asus was, I've always been an Asus man. Okay, I've always used an Asus motherboard. I've always used an Asus what is it, graphics card. I've got an Asus notebook. What is it? Nexus 7, which is made by ASUS. So in jumping the gun, basically, and then deciding to finally purchase a non-ASUS motherboard was a really big deal for me. Okay, so anyway, but I don't think I will regret it. I've had a closer look of this motherboard. I've opened this box up, so I'm very happy with the quality I'm very happy with the coloring scheme. So there's no regrets. Okay, basically, the reviews online from from professional reviews and the YouTube reviews have been very positive for the ASROCK Z77 OC Formula. Okay, so I don't think I will say one day that, oh no, I can't do this. I need to have the motherboard that I had originally, but and then you know waste my money and to get another motherboard. So look, I'll get on it straight to the reviews, but better yet, going back to the 10 SATA ports, if I were to have an add-on card, that would make 12 SATA ports. That's crazy, I know, but you know what I did? I bought that add-on card. Okay, so at the end of the day, if I want to, I probably will. I will have access to 12 SATA ports. Okay, so whatever, dude. For those people that says, yeah, what are you gonna use it for? But yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's my system. Okay, so with all of the high-end products these days, it seems that the boxes are no longer wrapped in plastic. It's sort of like it's got this flip opening just to see the inside, and it's good for marketing also for the all the all the features, the neat stuff for the motherboard. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, look, I'm not gonna go through a lot of these things, but I'm gonna show you what the motherboard looks like. I mean, before I do that, I might probably go through that. I mean, the power face design on this motherboard is very impressive. It's got a 12+4 power face design. I mean, with ASRock, I think from day one there have been. Let me just move the camera here so I can show you what it says on the box. I mean, they have been using premium alloys or filter caps, so on and so forth. It's got a dual stack MOSFET DSMs. What else was the main features that drew me? I mean, it's got twin power cooling across the motherboard, which is similar to the ASUS Formula 5. And although I'm not gonna water cool this, but it's probably one of the advantages for those people that decide to water cool it. Okay. What else? You've got fine tuning V controller for overclocking, Nixie's OC profile, multi-thermal sensor. I mean, if this is true, which I hope it is, but if this is true, it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 thermal sensors on the motherboards. I mean, that could be a little bit too much by all means, but anyway, it is what it is, and hopefully it's all going to work. Okay, not that it's gonna be faulty or anything, but now the rapid OC is another neat feature. The V probe also. So I mean, we'll see how this thing goes in comparison to what I used to from what I use personally, as well as what I use at work. So what are the features that does it have? So it's got 2 PCI Express 3 slots and 1 PCI 2.0 slots and 2 PCI Express 2.0 slots. Okay, it supports up to 4 DDR3 3000, so that's pretty big. So 6 SATA 3s, 4 SATA 2s. It supports RAID. I'm planning to use RAID 0 on 2 SSDs, so that's gonna be pretty impressive, I hope. 8 USB 3s, 10 USB 2s, supports 7.1 channel HD THX True Studio. Okay, so that in essence, I mean, look, I don't wanna compare this motherboard to another one in the market, too often, but that itself, in essence, is pretty good. So hopefully, look, although I'm gonna use an aftermarket sound card, I will test the onboard sound card just for enjoyment, or just for the hell of it, so I can compare, or even justify to myself, yes, buying an aftermarket sound card was a good decision, because I am a bit of a sound freak or audiophile, so we'll see how it goes. Let me just put this back. Okay, so like I said before, I've opened this box just to have a closer look, and just to make sure that none of the parts are broken or came loose, because that's one of the main concerns these days, because like there have been some horrors, I believe, with the reviews on Newegg's and online, that I mean, they are very, very well made, but for those people that had issues with their motherboard purchased online or what have you, it's because of the damage during transit or during shipping, or in storage, what have you. So look, I was a little bit concerned, but that was pretty much short-lived. So now this is pretty much, well, you could refer this as ASROCK flagship motherboard. Okay, it's used for overclocking. It's I mean, they've got Nick Shi to even put his signature on the motherboard, maybe for marketing, but maybe for aesthetics, but also just to put his stamp on the motherboard in saying, yes, I've managed to overclock using this motherboard up to a certain level, and so on and so forth. So it's pretty good. Now, like going to around the motherboard. So I mean, where should I start? I mean, really, like, I mean, I'm not sure whether you can see this up and close, but I have to say the quality on this motherboard is very, very good. Okay, I mean, it's very, very hard to fault it, and they've managed to squeeze a lot of the bits and pieces that that you see from a few of the high-end motherboards that may not be available even in the one brand, or in the one make, and they've managed to cram it into this one piece of motherboard. Okay, so that itself is very, very I don't know, very attractive. Um, uh, One thing that I should say is, like, especially at this time, some people may say or may ask, like, why are you using Z77? Why are you using Ivy Bridge? Why not go with Z87, Haswell, blah 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 blah? But look, when I bought this motherboard, the OC formula was, I think it was already marketed. Um, you know, I'm not sure whether it was available. I'm not sure whether it is available now, but like Nick Shi was already playing with it, was already using liquid nitrogen to, overclock the Haswell into a different level. But I, for one, have never bought a new technology when it first comes out. Okay, I've never bought a phone when during its first release. I've never bought a car when it first came out. So I've never bought anything, TVs or laptops or any computer parts or you know consoles. Like I've got, like, just to give you an example. I mean, I've got the 360, the 360 and the PS3. I bought those basically in the last 18 months, knowing well enough that the new console generations could come out at any time. Because, like, if you remember, when the 360 first came out, there were so many issues. Okay, so is it nice to have a new technology? Yes. It's always nice to have new stuff, but you really have to find the right time these days. I mean, at the end of the day, hopefully you will be using your own money. Most people work really really hard for it, and you don't really want to spend it knowing well enough that it could be a lemon, or it could you could be classified as a guinea pig by the manufacturer. Okay, so I mean, in saying that, if I were to go to with Z87, same motherboard, same model, and everything else, Z87 OC Formula, ASROCK, with 4770K Haswell chip, I would probably had to spend maybe 100, maybe close to $250. I mean, I bought this motherboard at a really really good price. Okay, I mean, it was retailing at one point was what was it, $370. Okay, for this motherboard. When I bought it, it was only 206 or $207, $207. So the savings on this motherboard alone justifies it. I knew that I was going with the Ivy Bridge, so there wasn't any reason for me to decide whether or not to go in any other way. It was either gonna be this one or another one that was gonna cost $140 more. So I would rather use that money to get a better graphics card, or get a better monitor for gaming, and so on and so forth. Okay, so but anyway, look, we'll continue with the review, or it's not gonna be a full review. Okay, I'm not gonna show you the same stuff that especially since this is not a new motherboard. I'm not gonna show you the same stuff that's already available or have gone through so many times um, on the online reviews on YouTube or whatever. So I'm gonna save you some time, and then I'm gonna probably tell you the stuff that really attracted me the most when looking at this motherboard the first time. Okay. So first of all, the one thing that really stood out is the coloring scheme. Okay, so I mean, some manufacturers would either go with red and black. I think red and black looks really good, um, but or either blue and black, green and black, or even orange and black. I think, yeah, orange and black, or green and black. Um, did I say green and black before? I don't know, but those are the two things. Yellow and black, not so much. Not so much in terms of, you don't see it that often. It's not in terms of not so much that I don't like it, but it's you don't see it as often. I mean, it's hard to get parts with similar coloring scheme. I mean, for those people that don't really care about coloring scheme, fine, you know, whatever. But like if you see cases these days, they have, like especially the Corsair 900D, like the window, the Perspex is massive. Okay, it's as wide as or wider than a 24-inch monitor. It's just like the real estate on those things is just insane. So for you to not care about the coloring scheme after spending a lot of money on the motherboard, graphics card, and so on and so forth, is just crazy. But look, the yellow and black, although I was a little bit, I was a little bit skeptical on whether it could really work well or not. Well, yes, it could. Okay, whether I managed to get the parts that I want in the right coloring scheme to complement this. Not really, because it's hard. Like I said before, it's hard to get yellows. Okay, but like I would be able to complement it by using, you know, white LEDs, or even if I really want to push it that far, like some people have done. Like you could use, the new Corsair AF series fans or the SP series fans with the yellow bands around it. Okay, I mean, what I managed to get was, let me see here. Where's the? Okay, so what I managed to get was, I was a little bit afraid because this has always been a problem. I mean, especially when getting new motherboards. Okay, like you get a new motherboard, you go to their website, you go to the compatible memory page, and you see they've been testing with, but it's not available. Okay, it may not be out of stock, or it may no longer be in production. Look, I'm not an expert on computers. I can like if I can't find a compatible memory from the store that I have access to, then I would have a problem. Okay, I would either ask someone, or go into forums where they have the same motherboards, and ask them like, what memory are you using? Okay. At one time, I found a compatible memory for this motherboard, but for four sticks, it costed, well, it would have costed me 800 or $900. I mean, they look pretty cool, but for that much, yeah, no thanks. Okay. So what I managed to get is an all black. I mean, I'm not gonna mention this here. I've already mentioned too many brands in this recording, but I managed to get an all black RAM. So it should, I should be able to keep the coloring scheme, to an acceptable level, or that's easy on the eye. So it's not going to be yellow, green, red, um, you know, light blue, and so on and so forth. So, what else? I mean, I've mentioned about this. Like a lot of motherboards are now. You could integrate your water cooling into the motherboard. At one time, I was planning to have a water cooling, but something stopped me, because I really wanted to test or I wanted to see how far I can push everything using water cooling. Okay. No, not water cooling. Sorry, air cooling. I'm tired, guys, so take it easy on me. Yeah, look, I wanted to see how far I can push using air cooling, on, you know, uh, on the CPU, on the VGA, on the graphics card. So I wasn't tempted to do it. But what I am tempted to do was maybe get another Ivy bridge setup, um, probably using the same motherboard more or less, and then do a water cooling, um, on that setup. Okay, run it side by side and see the difference, the real difference, because sometimes you see a comparison online, you see a comparison on reviews and so on and so forth, and it's not really, um, well, what can I say? I mean, it's not really a fair comparison, I think. Okay, it's either one part is different or two parts are different. They're using a different case. They're using a different radiator, or like the temperature is different. The humidity in the air is different. So, I mean, if I were to have that setup, I think it would. I don't know. That kind of interests me. Apart from having to spend, you know, well, the same amount of money again to have that setup, but that would interest me quite a lot. So, look, it's maybe I'll do it. I don't know. So the PCI Express 3 here, that that itself would be pretty cool. I mean, it's got a nice gap here. You can have a dual SLI even, which I may do, but I'm not sure anymore. Like I said, let me just carefully. Okay, whoa. Carefully. It is a pretty heavy motherboard. It's got, you can't see it, can you? It's got six SATA 3s, four SATA 2s. I think that really does it for me. Okay, let me just bring this up. Hold on. I'm just gonna. Okay, that's not gonna be too good, but just hold on, guys. Okay, so I've put this on on top of the motherboard box, but anyway, I'll swing this around. I think I'm not sure whether you can see it, but it's got the 7.1 audio here, the 4 USB 2s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 USB 3s, a gigabit LAN, what else, HDMI. One thing that I managed to see with the Z77 motherboards were, like, there were some earlier models of Z77s that has HDMI and also even VGA. I'm not sure why, or the DVI. I think if you were gonna purchase a Z77 motherboard or a Z87 motherboards for that matter, you're not going to use the onboard the onboard graphics on the CPU. Never ever. Okay, you wouldn't spend that extra amount of money to use the onboard graphics. That's just ridiculous. I mean, even on the Haswell, when where the onboard graphics is better than the Ivy Bridge, you're not gonna use it. If you're gonna use it, then maybe, I don't know. I can't see any reason why you should use it anyway. Okay, maybe I mean, I'm not sure the cost of having even a HDMI output here, but like, if it doesn't, then would it be cheaper for us? That's one of the things that I've always wondered, not just in regards of computers, but everything else. If it doesn't, then would it be cheaper for the consumers? I mean, another example that I could relate this is, like, some cars don't even have a spare wheel. Okay, some cars would have those self healing or self that would recover if there's a puncture or whatever. Okay, so I mean, that's one of the questions that I ask as a consumer and as someone that works in IT, that decides to what kind of hardware should I buy in the company, and so on and so forth, because I do need to make that decision and so on, not just once or twice, but ongoing basis, even though I don't need to make that decision that often. But I mean, don't you want to know? So that is something that I keep asking, like, whether I'm curious or a bit pedantic or whatever. But anyway, look, I'll get on with it. DDR3 3000 plus, 3000. I'm not sure whether a lot of people would even buy the maximum recommended speed, or buy the highest level, because it is so expensive and you don't need to spend or get the highest or get the most expensive memory available, because it's it, it's nice to get a good memory. Like, it's nice to get a good power supply, but at the end of the day, uh, there is a threshold of getting, you know, a good memory or a cheap memory. Again, you're investing so much money on the motherboard, on the CPU. Hopefully you're not going to spend you know $50 or $100 in getting the memory. Hopefully you will spend a bit more in getting um, you know a good part for your system. One thing that I'm also impressed is the gold caps, which is very, very, I don't know, very, very well manufactured or designed. And what else? Um, the dual MOSFET. Well, yeah, okay. But what I do like here is the reset and power button that's available on the motherboard. Like, um, you know, I've seen that in some motherboards, but that is something that is really, really handy to have. Um, this is the BIOS setting that I mean, you could change if you happen to maybe corrupt the BIOS in some way. You could change it, but hopefully not. That's just for you know I guess safekeeping or emergency. What I do also like is the fan headers. The amount of fan headers on this motherboard is insane. Okay, so you have just the 3 pins. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, um, 4, 5, 6, 3 pins, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I mean, that's a lot. um, and also, what else did I think? So it's got 4 pin here. What else? The 4 pin. Oh, that's the speaker. So yeah, it's got a CPU fan here. What else did I say? The rapid OC is quite handy, but I'm not sure whether I'm gonna use it. I'm probably gonna use it in other ways, but look, we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm not really sure anymore how far I can push this. Look, considering, I mean, this is around winter time here in Australia, so I should be able to push this a little bit further. But being in Queensland, that it is a bit warm here, so it's not like the southern states where it gets really cold. So during summer, where temperatures can get a little bit high, up to the 40s or 100 Fahrenheit for you Americans. Um, it will be I don't know, it will be interesting. Okay, if I were to gonna push this as far as I can during the summer, or um, how much maybe um, how much do I have to tinker around during summer and winter, basically? Okay, or do I keep it in in the in the safe margin, so I don't have to change these settings, like when the temperature fluctuates here and there. But anyway, this is cool again, but I'm not sure. I'm not gonna criticize this a lot, but one thing that I don't really like on this motherboard um, is pretty much the the finishing on this alloy part. It's, I don't know, it just bugs me a little bit. I'm not sure whether the finishing is quite right or quite as high standard as I would like it. And also the sticker on this fan here, it's pretty much not covering the whole thing. I mean, I could just like take it and then pull it apart, um, which is very, very, I don't know, very, it feels a bit not cheap, but it feels a bit it feels that there are a lot of areas for improvement in improving the quality of this motherboard. Like just the stickers on these motherboards, like over here, it's not, I mean, it is a sticker, but it's like they could do better. Okay, like the sticker on this BIOS, it's, they could do better. Okay, the sticker on these SATA ports, they could do better. I'm pretty sure they could. So I don't know, it's why, and also why would they even still have this for the mouse and keyboard? I just don't get it. It's maybe on the Z77, we will see a lot of, that thing won't be there anymore, I hope. Although I haven't really paid a close eye on the Z87 motherboards, but on these kind of things, maybe they wouldn't have that. It's just a little bit, I don't know, lacking. I mean, that's a good word, lacking in some parts. I mean, I'm very, very picky on, even on the parts that I buy. I'm very, very picky. I'm very, very critical on the parts that I buy. And you can imagine on the parts that I didn't buy or chose not to buy, how picky I could be. But anyway, look. Like I said with the previous videos, or earlier in this video, I will use this for the build tomorrow. Okay, hopefully I will be able to record the whole thing and then upload it on YouTube. I've got another build for a friend that I will do, but I'm not sure whether I will post it on YouTube, because I really want to show the stuff that I'm using on YouTube, not the stuff that not the stuff that I'm doing for other people, or not the stuff that other people own, because I don't think it is fair. As I'm only starting out in YouTube, it feels like that I need to show what I use, why I use it for, and so on and so forth. Okay, but look, anyway, I'll put an end to this video, because I've got one more or two more things that I want to show you, or make videos and then upload it before I go to sleep tonight. Okay, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.